Hey guys, Brian here from Better Chess Training, and in today's video, I wanted to share an interesting and I think a very instructive endgame study uh, that I recently solved um, from Kostas Endgame Studies 101. So this is actually from his level 4 studies, which are the hardest studies that he includes here. But just as it's not a full review, but he has a very nice progression from very simple studies, which kind of show a lot of the elementary tactics that we will see that are typical in end game studies, all the way up to studies like this, which are a little more difficult, and then he gives you some resources uh, if you are further want to look at this. And I've talked about this before, and I have a few other videos. Endgame studies are a great way to practice your calculation and also to help you to find what I would call maybe unusual moves or unusual ideas that help kind of unlock your creativity in chess as well. So I definitely think it's a good thing to do. So let's take a look at this. This is it's white to play and win, and this is a study composed by Rinck, a great endgame study composer in 1908. So what I would suggest you do is pause the video and take up to 15 minutes and come up with the full line until you definitely are winning, and then come back and I'll show you the solution. Okay, so a couple of ideas I toyed around with when I was first solving this. One was to play something weird like this, with the idea that if he takes, then um, he's kind of blocking his king here, or blocking his rook, and then I can advance. Problem with that is that back here, after I play this move, all he has to do is play rook to c1, and then he stops my pawn. Um, and then another idea I had, but I quickly abandoned, was to play something like this, d6, and after e takes d6, try to play something like this, and then if he takes, advance it. But then again, this is very easy. Again, I rejected this very quickly, but I wanted to show you just in case you guys saw these ideas as well. So let's go back and let's look at what the solution is. And actually, this is very instructive with rook and pawn endgames. You always want to look at advancing your passed pawn and see what that does. Now here, when you do it, you would calculate that, well, he has to stop it, right? So he has to play rook to c1 to stop it, and it looks like we're going to lose this pawn. But we have a couple tricks up our sleeve, I guess. And here we need to play one intermediary move, and that we need to protect this pawn for one move here. So he can't take it right away. So of course, black naturally would take here, again renewing this threat. And then we're going to do one more thing. And again, this sometimes these themes can all happen in your game, or you can use these in your game as well. In this particular case, not all endgame studies. I guess some endgame studies have more unusual moves that maybe you wouldn't really. I mean, that's again one of the reasons we study endgame studies, is to try to have those possibilities in our mind. But here, we're going to try to deflect the rook. Rook to h1. So of course, we have to, of course, if he takes it, we're going to promote, and that should be winning. But then in our calculations, we have to look, well, what if he takes here on c7? And this is where you had to notice something else. Let's go back to the beginning position. We had to notice that these kings are in opposition. And so what does that mean? That means that if you can check the king on the d file, he's going to be forced onto the c file. And that is kind of the key to the study. Okay, let's go back, or let's go forward. c7, rook c1. And here, if he takes, we now can deliver this check. Rook to d1 check. The king has to go to the c file. It doesn't matter where. Let's just say c5 here. And then rook to c1 check, skewering the king and the rook. So, of course, the king moves out of the way. We take the rook. And here, even though it does look a little, because these pawns aren't advanced enough, it should be fairly simple to win. And that is the solution. Just want to point out something here, and just how elegant this puzzle is. We had to play this move, d6. And if he takes, we look later, this is beautiful. Sorry, I'm just, I'm really enjoying the elegance of these studies. We notice later that when we deliver this check, the king is blocked off here by these pawns. He cannot protect his rook. And so that is the genius behind these beautiful endgame studies. So anyways, I hope you guys got that. And even if you didn't, I really think and this is why I hope that you took the time to try to find a solution. The benefit, most of the benefit comes from the process of trying to solve the problem. You're practicing your calculation, you're practicing visualization, you're practicing looking at different candidate moves, you're looking at different responses. I mean, it's just a great practice for improving your chess. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Endgame studies are a great way to train your chess, as I've said many times on this channel. I have a playlist over here for other endgame studies that you might want to check out if you want to solve some. Subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't done so already. Of course, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Finally, that endgame course, Endgame Studies 101 by Kosta Kavutski. I'll have the link down below, as well as links to a couple other endgame studies books that I have that I really find enjoyable as well, with great collections of training material. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.